Hey there. So I really like Corne keyboards, but my only gripe with them is that they usually come in a really cheap plastic case or some other cheap materials that don't feel great to use. So to solve that, enter Typeractive and Boardsource. Both these companies offer a more premium feeling aluminum case that you may want to try. So let's take a look at both. So before we start, let's get this out of the way. I know Boardsource has their own low-profile version of the Unicorne, but honestly, I wasn't interested. Most low-profile Corne keyboards I've seen tend to pretty much sound the same and come with the same limitations of chalk V1 style boards. So for that reason alone, I went with an MX version of the Unicorne. Again, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, but still wanted to take a look. Okay, let's start with the Typeractive Corne. So this is a wireless Bluetooth low-profile keyboard that uses chalk V1 switches and has chalk spacing. Chalk V1 switches are pretty limited when you compare them to MX switches, but they do come in linear, tactile, and clicky variations. Overall, they tend to be a bit quieter and usually scratchier than MX switches, and for the most part, they all usually sound the same within their variations. The only real difference that you're going to feel is the actuation force. Now, I'm more of a tactile guy, so I'm using the preferred tactile, Sunset Tactiles. Now, like the switches, keycap options for chalk V1s are pretty limited, and so most usually default to these MBK keycaps, which you can get either with legends or without legends. As for spacing, chalk spacing refers to the spaces between the switches themselves. Because chalk switches are smaller than MX switches, they can be grouped together a little tighter, which leads to a smaller, more compact board, especially when you compare it to an MX board. It's kind of hard to tell from here, but everything is just a little bit more compact. And this is likely going to be better for someone with smaller hands. Someone with bigger hands might have issues using a chalk-spaced keyboard. That being said, chalk keyboards can come either MX-spaced or chalk-spaced. It just so happens that this one is chalk-spaced. The case is aluminum on the top and on the sides. Meanwhile, the back is a frosted acrylic. Now, each side weighs around 6 ounces, so altogether for both, you're looking at about 12 ounces. There's no tenting support built into the board, but you can add magnetic rings like these to work with phone mounts like these. Now, these phone mounts are really cool because they allow you to change the amount of tenting you have on your board, whether you want something a little bit more extreme or not so much. Now, thanks to the use of the nice nano controllers, the Typeractive board has Bluetooth connectivity. This allows you to pair up to 5 devices, and in my case, switching profiles is really quick and easy. All I do is I hold down my layer key here, and these keys become my profile keys. So I can switch between profile 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that can be my laptop, my work computer, my phone, my tablet, whatever it is I want to switch to, I can get to really quickly. As for configuring, the board comes flashed with ZMK, and it used to be that any changes required you to compile new firmware and to flash the board. Now, web tools have helped simplify this, but this was still more work than just using VIA or VIAL on a QMK board. I will say though, I actually kind of prefer ZMK over QMK since I've been able to dial in my home rule mods to a near perfect state, where I still have some trouble on QMK boards like the Unicorne. The case is sold at $150, and a full build like this is probably going to run you closer to $350-ish. But if you already own a Typeractive wireless Corne, you can just drop the PCB in and you're good to go. Now, if you own a different low-profile Corne PCB, there's a chance that it could fit in here. Just remember, it has to be a chalk-spaced PCB. All right, let's check out the Boardsource one next. So this is a wired Corne that uses a USB-C connection to connect to both halves, unlike the TRRS cable that's used on some other boards. Like here is my Souffle, and you can see it has that TRRS cable connecting the two halves, and it's basically just like a headphone jack. Since it uses MX switches, it allows you to really customize the board on both sound and feel. I just swapped out some HMX shin highs, and I'm currently in between Baby Kangaroos and some Boba U4Ts. Now, MX switches also open you up to different keycap profiles, whether you go with Cherry, MT3, XDA, and there's plenty of other options. Now, I'm not normally an RGB guy, but this board kind of changed my mind a bit. Now keep in mind that you're trading the RGB for the wireless connectivity and the battery on the Typeractive board. And personally, I kind of value the wireless and battery over the RGB. Now, the case itself is aluminum on all sides. So you can see on the back and on the front and on the sides. You have kind of a low profile case, meaning the switches are exposed. Now, while the Unicorn does weigh a little bit more and it's an all aluminum build, somehow the Typeractive Corne still feels a little bit more substantial. I get a little bit of hollowness when I'm holding the Unicorn. So oddly enough, it's the board with the acrylic back that kind of feels denser and better to me. They do, however, have a built-in tenting option on the board itself, which I do like. These little legs just screw onto the back and provide a 10-degree tenting angle. Now, what I like about these is that they actually look like they were intended for the board itself. They're not just an afterthought. I find like most tenting options tend to look kind of cheap, kind of gimmicky, but this looks designed for it. I like it. Configuration of the board is very beginner friendly. It comes with VIA support out of the gate, so any changes you want to make can be done live without having to compile or flash firmware. I actually ended up switching to VIA since it has a few more advanced QMK features that aren't available on VIA or that are harder to set up on VIA. Switching to VIA does take a little bit more work, and it does require you to compile and flash the board at least once, but it's not that complicated, and if you need help, Discord might be your best bet. Speaking of Discord, both Typeractive and Boardsource have active Discord communities, and it's likely that any questions you may have already been answered on there. If you need more general help with ZMK or QMK, they also have their own unique Discords that might be a good resource to use as well. Now, one thing to note about my Unicorn, for some reason, some of the LEDs on the board will randomly shut off, and this wasn't something that was unique to me. I saw some people on their Discord post similar things. So I reached out to support with pictures, and after about a week, they got back to me and they told me they were sending a replacement PCB. All they asked was that I send them pictures with the existing PCB. I appreciate their willingness to send a replacement part at no cost to me, but I kind of prefer it not to be an issue to begin with. But still, it's a good sign of customer support at least. Both boards were easy to assemble and required no soldering, just a screwdriver for the assembly. Now, the Typeractive board may require some soldering if you don't purchase no solder headers, and the Boardsource Unicorn may require soldering if you choose to add joysticks or rotary encoders on these sides. Now, one thing I want to know about the Unicorn is while the build was easy, getting the PCB out of the PCB rails was scary. The amount of force that was needed to actually remove the PCB from the rails made me really nervous. I felt like I was going to snap the PCB in half. So just be careful, go slow, and break them off one at a time. After that, you'll be good to go. The Unicorn comes in 3 color options. I have the black one here, but they also offer a silver and space gray case. The total cost for the Unicorn with the added OLEDs and tenting legs came to be around $243. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Again, the Boardsource Unicorn is going to be the more customizable, the better sounding, better feeling, easier to use thanks to VIA and VIA, and it's going to be the cheaper of the two. As for the Typeractive Corne, honestly, I think I still prefer this board over the Unicorn, which is kind of crazy to me because the Unicorn has everything that made me fall in love with custom keyboards to begin with. And yet, something about this board just feels nicer, tighter, more compact. And I love the fact that I don't have to connect the two halves to each other. Overall, it's just less cables running around. Its size and wireless capabilities just make this such a versatile board. All that being said though, I really like both boards. They both bring something that the other one doesn't have. And even though I like the Typeractive Corne more though, if wireless isn't important to you, go Boardsource. It's less money and it has more customizability. Anyways, I hope this helps anyone who is considering getting either of these boards. I haven't really seen anyone comparing these two, and they do seem to be the most widely available premium corns out on the market. So just wanted to throw this video out there. Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya. All right, and that's pretty much, fuck, oh!